What's up everybody, welcome to this week's episodes. Today's video is about creating a unique exploded presentation you see in your screen. It's cool to have alternatives sometimes on how to communicate your project, more especially once you've produced a great model in ArchiCAD. This will help you become unique and set yourself to outstand among your colleagues at school or your competitors in your industry or in your area of practice, and this ultimately will lead to a great success. I'm going to start by deleting this. Also, we're going to start all over again. If you want to follow along with this tutorial, check the link on the top right corner to download this project, or also the link is on the description, so that we can use the same project for the exercise. So once you've deleted this, let's go back to the view map, and then we're also going to delete the documents we just created for this. Then say delete all. I think this one needs to go as well. And then if you click on this physical model, just a 3D of this project. You remember this project, guys, from the previous videos. So if you want to check the tutorial on how to construct, or the tutorial about constructing this model, check the link also on the top right corner. I also have the link in the description if you want to see how we assembled this model. Yeah, and then from here, what we need to do, we're going to start with the floor plan. The floor plan is going to be a perspective floor plan, like I said. So to set it, we need to cut a horizontal section for this model and convert that into a 2D. So we're going to use a 3D cutaway tool to achieve that. Activate it, and then from here we have this scissors. If you hover your mouse here, it will give you these planes to drag. So for example, you can drag this plane to cut your model from this direction. So in this case, I'm going to use the model. So let's say cancel. I'm going to use the cutting plane from the top because I'm dealing with this a plan view. So I'll drag this and scroll down there up until I reach the ground level. So from here I will leave this right and then finalize. There you go, you have something like this. So we're going to now convert this into a plan, whatever you can call it, 2D plan perspective or a perspective plan. So let's say go to view options, and then under 3D view options, let's open the 3D projection settings, or you can just hit Ctrl Shift plus F3. So once you are here on this perspective settings, let's click on parallel projections. We're going to set an axonometric view of our choice on how we want to cut our views, both for all the views. So under custom axonometry, we're going to go for the different types of axonometry styles here. All these, they can work except the ones for the 2D, which is the side, bottom, and the top. In this case, I'm going to pick the isometric and axonometric. This is going to be across all the views we're going to create. You have to be consistent in terms of your angle so that once you assemble the exploded views, they connect. So it's very, very key. So I'll click on that, and then we're going to set what? The floor plan, because we have a cutaway of this model. So we want now to expose all these elements in a 2D form. So in this area here, we have parameters of the angles for the X, Y, Z for our coordinates of our model, and then we have also the axis length. So in this case, we are happy with this. We can maybe define this to set it to 30-30 if we want. Set everything to 30, and then this will be now -30. Yeah, don't forget, for all the views we have to be consistent in terms of the angles. And then from here, once we're done, we want what? We want to set the Z value, which is the height of this. So if, for example, if you set this value, the length of this to 0, you have now a 2D of this model. So let's say 0, and then you can see now it's a 2D. So if you hit OK, it will give you this cutaway on a flat plane. So we cannot now edit or document a 3D window like this, so we need to convert it into a 3D document. So let's right click and convert this into a 3D document. I'm going to give it a name. It's a plan, then hit create, wait for it, and then once you're done here, let's save this as a current view, and I need to pick the previously set parameter for the name. So what we need to do here is to change the graphic override to structural plane. So and then hit OK or create. But this is subject to change in terms of the overrides. You can play around and try find what you want, or create a graphic override combination specifically for what you want to do. So in this case I have this, but I believe and feel structural plane it's better. Yeah, this is great. And then we have the plan of the presentation. So let's go back again to the physical. In this case, we're not going to cut the model horizontally, rather we're going to cut it vertical to create a section. So activate it, and then let's get rid of this plane. You can move it at the top, or you can right click or select it and then right click and delete the cutting plane. There we go. And then we can pick, cancel. We can pick from this side because we are cutting a section vertically to this model, like so. Make sure you pick the interesting part of your model. So in this case it's going to be here, and then I'm going to finalize this. If you zoom in here, that's what we basically have. I think I have a discrepancy of this. I can just stretch this. You see, now when you explore your model like this, you access the discrepancies that you need to do. It's also good for analyzing your model and make sure you do the corrections. So from here we're going back to the perspective settings. Like I said, you say Control Shift plus F3, then open the parallel projections, go back to the isometric, and then make sure the angles are consistent. Negative 30 degrees for the X axis, and then for the Y axis is going to also be a positive 30 degrees, like so. This time around we're dealing with an elevation aside, which is from the Y direction. I don't know if it makes sense. So from this side of the front. So we're not going to use the Z, we're going to use the Y. So if you set this to 0, that's what happens. So you have now a 2D or a flat projection for this plane. So you can hit OK. So you have a section like that. Right click and convert it into a 3D document, give it a name, section, then create. Okay, so like I said, with the graphic overrides you can also play around with what you want, but I have a structural plane. I think it works well with what I want, so I'll keep every view to structural plane. So let's save this first, and then I can assign the override to structural like I said, and then create. There we go. Perfect. So if you go back again to the 3D, this time around we're done with the cutting planes of our model. So I'm going to get rid of the 3D cutaway. I'm now looking at the perspective or the axonometric of the whole building. So let's go back to Control Shift plus F3, parallel projections. Let's set the isometric to the axonometric to isometric. Make sure the angles, like I said, are consistent. So this would help you to have a perfect connection of all the views once you are bringing them together. And then hit OK. Let's convert this into a 3D. I'll leave it under the name for axonometric and create. I'm using a laptop, so it will be a bit slower than when I'm using a built PC. So once we're done, I'll save this current view and set the graphic override to structural to be consistent, and then hit recreate. Three documents are always heavy. I hope this will be area for ArchiCAD to Graphisoft to improve for the next versions. So once you're done, there we go. And then let's see how we can bring all this thing together. So we're going to go to the layout book, and then let's set a layout for what we are working on. So I'm going to call it just let me just say Expo Presentation, and then I'm going to use A1 landscape as a master layout, then hit create. So let's go back to the view map, and under our 3Ds, let's select all the 3D we created, 3D documents we created, drag them and drop them in your layout. Just wait for a bit for the generation of all the 3D drawings. I think we're on the last one. Perfect. All the views are here. What we need to do is select all the views. We're going to get rid of the title because it's unnecessary for what we're trying to do here. So I'm going to scroll in your info box and find the title type and set it to no title, so that we have something like that. And then I can reduce the extent of the drawing by offsetting the edges like that. It's just for easy control and maneuvering around with your drawings. So do both drawings like so, select the edge and offset the distance. I think this one is fine. Let's now align our presentation. So I'm going to start with the floor plan. Let's drag it below your sheet somewhere there. Perfect. And then I'm going to pick a line tool and set the type to dashed, and I'll leave the pen to 62 for this presentation, and then zoom in here, and then I'm going to use the walls as a midpoint. So if you wait for the cursor to circle the intersection, it will be easier for you to snap. So it will circle with this blue, the guideline, so it's easier for you to snap the points easily instead of assuming. So I'm gonna put it somewhere here, and then I can drag copies of this, add a copy by hitting Control, and then I'll also move this side and add a copy. Let's do the same to this corner. Perfect. And then I'm going to bring in the perspective Axonometric model. I'm using this corner, so I'll hit Control D to drag and move around. Yes, and then pick this intersection. So I'm going to bring it here. Okay, that wasn't the point that I wanted to use, so it's supposed to be this point to this line, because it should be aligned, in line with the floor plane wall. So let's Control D and then move it here, something like that. Yeah, I think it's too close to the floor plane. Let's just drag it to move it to the up a bit, something like that. Great. I don't think this line has to go all the way. It has to fade or stop there. Okay, it looks perfect. The connections are great, 100% accurate. So I need now to project everything we're projecting from the 3D or the perspective. So this section also has to project from this side. So what I'll do, and I will pick the parameter of the line and then zoom in here, pick this point. Let's draw it with this guideline. There we go. And then we can drag a copy by hitting Control and then put it to this point. I'm going to have another one to that side of the wall, or have another one by the ridge. Let's see the ridge. Yeah, I think this one should be enough. Let's select our section and move it to the position. I'll use this point. Let's wait for the cursor to do our magic. Oh, sorry, I made a copy. Let's wait and then move this to there. There has to be a connection, I think. Yes, it's accurate because this point is there. I can pick with also this wall and the ridge. So this line, we need to reference it with this, which is here. So let's move it to this point, maybe this corner. Let's see. Yes, and then stretch it. Yeah, it's accurate. Nice. And then we can have another line out here, and then let's restrict it to end to here because you don't want them to. Make sure if you stretch it's accurate, something like that. Oh, I made a mistake. I didn't make a copy. That's painful. So let me do it again. Just split it here. So here I would move it back to there. Yeah, it's quite interesting. It's fantastic. So we are left with the elevation, and we can create also the roof plane. So let's say I'm going to place the lines for the projections lines for the elevation. It's going to be this line going that direction. Okay, let me stretch it somewhere there, and then we're going to have another line from here, and then another line from this wall, something like that. Yeah, we can also have another one by this wall, something like that. Yes. And then for the roof plane, for the roof we're going to have projection from this corner, and then make a copy to this corner. Let's make another copy to this point, and lastly here. Yeah, that's for the roof. Okay, let's go back to the viewpoint, or we just open the 3D perspective, because we're doing the roof and the elevation. We just do the same thing, Control Shift F3, or you go to the view or 3D options and then 3D projection settings. So if open the parallel projections, like I said, you'll be consistent. Let's choose the isometric, and the angles will be the same as well. So for this it's going to be 30. Yeah, we're dealing with this elevation. So what I'm going to do is set the axis length for the X. So I'm going to say it's going to be 0, something like that. Then hit OK. There we go. Right click and convert this into a 3D document and give it an elevation name. Election instead of elevation. Elevation. Oh, there are elections that is ongoing in Brazil. Maybe that's what transpired. But I'm not a Brazilian, but you know, global news are very important as well. So from here, let me just oh no, I need to save this as a 3D and set the graphical override to structural plane and then create. If you are using this file, I think it will be easy for you to follow along because everything is there. And then let's go back to the 3D and go back again to the 3D options and perspective settings. So what we want, like I said, this U has to be consistent. Okay, this time around we're doing the roof, which is the Z axis length. So I'm going to set it to 0. Yes, then hit OK. So that's basically our roof. Right click to convert this into a 3D document. Just gonna give it a roof plane name. Oh, sorry, roof plane. Then create or hit enter to complete the operation. So let's see, wait a bit. There we go. Oops, yeah, I think it's fine. So what you need to do is to save this and set the graphic override to structural plane, then create or hit enter. Okay, that's the last view we are creating. And then from here we're going back to our layout. There we go. Let's go back to our layout, and while we are here we want to drag the roof and the elevation views. Just drag and drop them in your layout. There we go. Take some time. Perfect. Let's do the same again. We're getting rid of the title for the drawings. So select both of them and both of them. Let's see. It's nagging, I think, because of I think I need to improve also my studio, because for recording the tutorials I'm using a laptop. So instead of using a built-up PC that we're having in our studio, so I need to improve the recording studio to have at least a better performing machine for you guys. So some of these things I shouldn't be going through, because it's I can sincere with you, it's very stressful and frustrating. So let's get rid of the title. So for future videos, this is now a must to upgrade. So yeah, so I'll select the roof plan, and this I would use this point, because this is the wall. Yes, and let's place it on this point. Great. If you look at everything, should connect. Perfect. Yeah, I think it's great. But we can also create a little bit of space between the two views. So let's move it up a bit. Yes, and then hit escape. Let's stretch this line to there. Also this one to there. Yes, so this one is for the other side of the wall, and I'll make a copy of this because it's good to have them on corners like this one, and also this. So here, then you can stretch the line to connect. Because I'm picking the footing instead of the wall, so that is why it's not connecting. If you look at here, you see it wants to go all the way there, but I want to pick it from here instead of there. So what I'll do, let's use this point here. As you can see, it's accurately positioned. Let's do the elevation. The elevation, let's now reduce the extent of the view. Let's just stretch, something like that. And from the bottom, then let's zoom in. Control D, and hover your cursor there by the point, then pick. Once the point is being highlighted, let's bring it to the points. Oh no, I think that's wrong. It was supposed to be this. It's supposed to be from here to here. Perfect. Everything, it's perfectly connected. So I think we need to create this little bit of space. See, it's now disturbing or extracting the ground floor. So I can just drag it to somewhere here. Yes, not bad. And then let's connect the points. Yes, like that. This. Oh, escape. I wanted to select the line, it's not the drawing. This line, it's either it goes all the way to the corner or we trim it off here. Let's just trim it off there. Yeah, this goes all the way to this point. Yes, I think that's a great result. It's very interesting, guys, to have different options of doing presentation. Thank you again for the attention for this. I really appreciate your support. Recently we've reached the milestone of 10,000 followers, which is a great milestone for us. So yeah, we thank everyone who is supporting this channel, and let's move forward and try see. There are a lot of ideas we have here in the studio of sharing the information with you guys about architecture and ArchiCAD tools, like as you can see on this video. So make sure you subscribe if you haven't subscribed to this channel, and make sure you hit the notification bell for you to be notified when the new video is being uploaded. So yeah, to make the presentation more interesting, you would want to reference your cutting planes for your floor plan and your section. So in this case, as you can see, for the floor plan, it's already placed. I just used a fill. So if you pick a fill and then set it to a percentage in terms of transparency, I'm using 25%. And then let's set the fill pen background to transparent and the fill pen foreground to this color, so that we do for section. I remember the section, we cut a section, I think somewhere here. So I'll draw a line like that, and then draw another line. I can just draw a sketch and then I come and redefine it once I'm done. So yeah, they will come somewhere here. Somewhere there. Or I can, let me have a guidelines first, just to show you. So I'll use this line. Let me make a copy, drag a copy to here, and then yes, I think somewhere, let's move it somewhere here, and then I can use this line as a reference as well. Let me zoom here. I can make this intersection like so, and then have another opposite lines to that direction. So somewhere here along, or I can have a line that will reference that, so it's easy. So let me pick this line, and then I would use the footing. Make a copy. I would use a footing. Let's stretch it to there. So, and then I think I need to move this one where it's supposed to be, and then we drag a copy of this line to here. That's our section line where it meets with the line from this angle. Is going to be somewhere here. Oh, I didn't make a copy. Right. Okay, and then let's take this line, drag a copy to the top, like here, somewhere here. Yes. And then we now have a confined geometry for the section. So like I said, we can pick parameters of this, or we set a new fill for that. So make sure the fill type is 25% shading and 75 color on the pen tool, or the color table, sorry. And then make sure the fill background, the background is on transparent. Then let's draw. I'm going to use the geometry method of polygon. So I'm going to pick this point, another point is this one, another point is that. There we go, and then I complete. So once I'm done, I need to trim off the inside, but before I do, I will stretch to offset so that it can be outside my drawing like that, somewhere here. Yes. And then what I'll do, I'll add points where I want to trim it off. So for example, I'm going to use this line to trim it here, and then I'm going to trim another here. So yeah, from here, and then I can move this point to there, and then I'm gonna move the center to the ridge. Oh, sorry. Same applies to this one. Here. Oh, should be straight. I can take this line, drag it here to align my fill. See, it's not straight. To align it there. Okay. you can see, and then drag it to here. You see it's not aligned. That's when I can put this point to there. Yes, something of this nature. Let's get rid of the line. Oh, sorry, I want to get rid of the line. Yes, let's hit on delete. Isn't this interesting? It is really interesting. So now we can easily reference where the sections are being cut. So, and let's reduce the number of lines we just used as guidelines, because they're going to confuse. Yeah, something like this. And then we can stretch this to here, at a point to this corner, and then this we're going to offset it to that direction. So this just to stop here, and then this go all the way. So this will give a feel that this continues underneath that way. As you can see, even on the side, I made an effect as well. Yes, great presentation, guys. Yeah, thank you.